the floor. And you'll feel this now into the calf muscle, the outside of the shin, and still in the hamstring. Hold here, bring it back to the center, bend it back into the body so the thigh stays nice and close, and put it on the floor. And then you would do the opposite on the, or same thing on the opposite leg. So into the leg, hold, straighten the leg and hold. Extend that leg. Oops, just kidding. Here, it would go across the body. So pull it open, look away from the knee, bring it back in, grab it with that hand, pull that hip open, keep that opposite one on the floor, leg nice and long. Again, feet can be relaxed. Bring it into the body. Now, straighten the leg, hold it for a while. Flex the foot to increase the stretch, again, into the calf muscle, back of the knee. Relax the foot, grab it across the body. Pull it just slightly, will not go very far. Keep that hip bone on the floor. Hold. Then you would sickle the foot and hold. Bring the foot back to center as the leg comes back in. Bend it close in. And legs both straight out. From there, you're going to now open both hips simultaneously, so you'll just bend both knees, turn the legs out, and just let gravity hold. Keep this nice and open. Try not to grip in the hip bones at all. Hold here. And then to add just a little bit of weight, you can put your feet on top of one another. So the right foot or left foot goes on top, and then just let that hang. So this foot is now, or this leg is completely off the floor, has a little bit more gravity and weight pulling down on it. Hold here, and then switch sides. And nice and relaxed. Everything else is calm on the floor. Hips are open. Try not to arch that lower back. And release. Okay. We're going to start to warm up the shoulders, the upper back, a little bit underneath, so going into your lats a little bit. Again, more of movement stuff first, and then into stagnant things, going through the palm, the forearms, biceps, anything like that. So you're going to start kind of just in the fetal position, so you're laying just on one side. Knees are close to the body, everything's nice and relaxed, arms on top of one another. Just doing nice big circles above the head. Try to keep your fingers on the floor as long as possible, all the way around, and then they rejoin. I would do, at least 4 different circles in one direction, and then after completion, then you would reverse your circle again, keeping your fingers on the floor, nice big long circle, arms far away from the body. And then after all of your repetitions on the one side, you would just roll onto your back and roll to the other side. And then repeat there. Again, when you reach back behind you, find that floor nice and close, open all the way above the head, back down, and then you would reverse. Long, far away, down by the hips, and together. After that, so the arms are a little bit looser in the shoulders. You can do this whole series then either sitting or standing in a chair, doesn't quite matter, whatever is more comfortable. Just for the wrists, to get them going, latch your fingers together, and you're just going to push them so they're both doing circles. Again, the hands are tight together, which means they're nice and close. So there's no space in between, but there's no tension. So everything tight, meaning just close together and touching. Reverse your circle. And again, this is however many repetitions you want. From there, keeping the fingers latched, you're going to flip your hands toward you and away from you. So they're pushing pinky forward. And you're going to push through the elbows and then let the shoulders shrug forward. So this is stretching the back of the shoulder blades and up kind of along the neck. From here, as you're holding this stretch, you can do head rolls. So you drop the chin to the chest and you roll it around both directions. Again, as many repetitions as you like. Make sure you're pressing through the hands the entire time so you're getting a full stretch, not only of the shoulders, but of all your muscles surrounding your neck. Good. From there, you can take those arms, palms up to the ceiling now. Bring the shoulders nice and high into the ears. Arms are close to the head. And then pull the shoulders down and away from the ears. So the neck is nice and long. And shoulders up. And again, this is just warming everything up a little bit as you're stretching, and bring them down. From there, open the arms. Grab your hands back behind you and pull down. So really think of opening your chest and lengthening out. Again, from here, you can add head rolls. You'll feel this stretch not only in your neck, but in the front of your shoulders on this side at this point. Okay, so after you've completed your wrist circles, you're going to bring the palms toward you and press them out. Shoulder blades are reaching forward. So you're curved into your chest just slightly. You should feel this in the back of your shoulder blades and along the upper part of your back. From here, you can do small head rolls. Drop your chin to your chest. As you roll to the side, nice long neck. Keep your eyes looking forward so that as you roll to the back, it's more about just taking the head just slightly back and along the side. You don't want to collapse the back of the neck so that you lose your airway or break this line. So anything to the back is nice and long. If you keep your eyes looking forward, then your focus will help direct your head so that you do not lose that connection, but that you can still feel this nice long stretch. So it should have a long feeling here instead of a broken into the throat. So everything, anytime you do a head roll, this should be nice and elongated. From here, you can now flip your hands back in and out and press those palms up to the ceiling, bringing those shoulders in to the ears, nice and close to the head, and pressing down. Again, repeat this as many times as you feel, bringing them up to the ears and back down. Opening those arms, clasp your hands behind you and pull down and out. With those hands, you're now opening the front of the shoulders into the chest. Again, you can do small head rolls from here, dropping the chin to the chest, long into the side. Keep those eyes forward, long back of the neck, into the back so that you don't collapse anything. And head rolls, of course, will be in both directions. Repeat this as many times as you feel. Good. And then relax. From there, you can bring that arm, doesn't matter, up and over so that it crosses behind the head. Grab your elbow with the opposite hand and feel like you're reaching down your spine. Try not to push too far forward in your rib cage so that the body is nice and long. Chin can stay to the chest in the beginning. Hold here. And slowly, slightly, try to lift the chin and press the elbow back a little bit. And again, hold for a good 45 seconds to a minute. And then you would release and do the other side. This is going into the tricep, armpit, into the pec, and a little bit on the back of the shoulder blade. Good. To get a little bit more intense in the front of the arms with a partner, they will have your back to them. You're going to put their hands back behind their head, and you can stand just behind them. Grab right in front of their elbows, and then slightly pull back on both elbows. You apply just a very little pressure at a time. Again, they're trying not to release in the rib cage so that it arches a ton, but the body is nice and straight, and this is pulling across the front of the shoulders, into the chest, and into the head. Again, hold here for at least a minute, and then slowly release your partner so that they don't spring apart, and then switch places. Some other shoulder stretches that you can do along the wall anywhere is keeping the arm in line with the body so it's not up or down. Straighten, arm along the wall, and then try to open the body away from that shoulder. Trying to push the armpit into the wall, hold here, and then of course do the other side. Same kind of idea, bend the arm to a 90 and then press again. It gets a little bit deeper within that armpit and into that shoulder. Hold and then repeat on the other side. So we're gonna start again moving through the back a little bit more, get a little bit more finite within the spine, and then go into a little bit more quads, hamstrings, calves, a little bit of the arches as well in some lunge studies. So the first one for the back is going to stay nice and close to the body. So if I say tight, I mean closeness. Nothing should be very tense. You will feel in this stretch tense and tight muscles within your spine. So especially in the middle of your back, a lot of things are naturally very tight. This stretch is to help relax and release that so you will gain more mobility. So you're going to be sitting cross-legged. It does not matter which leg is in front. You're going to clasp your hands behind your head. You're going to drop your elbows to the floor and only your chin to your chest. So everything else on your spine is nice and straight, and then just the top is pulled down. You'll stay and breathe through here at least 45 seconds. Take a big inhale in. As you exhale, you'll roll just a little further, so just the shoulders and now the top of the head are pulling down towards the floor. Again, stay here for 45 seconds to a minute. Inhale in, and exhale and roll a little bit further into the rib cage. This is where you'll start to feel a little bit more tension, even up through the head, and starting now on the upper back. As you're rolling through and holding everything, you're trying to roll close to the body rather than far away this way. So everything is dropping down, top of the head, to the inside of your legs. Hold, hold, hold. Inhale and exhale. Pull yourself a little bit further. Again, hold. As you breathe into the discomfort, it'll start to relax, so make sure you do not move out of it until you feel that happen. Inhale in and all the way down. Head as close to the body as you can. You would stay here until this releases. And then from the bottom, you can open your hands, just relax them down, and then slowly roll yourself back up to your starting position. And everything should be nice and relaxed, nice and long. From there, a little bit more mobility of the spine. You're going to go onto your hands and knees. And you're going to arch your pelvis up and your head up to the ceiling. Really push the belly down towards the floor. Tailbone and shoulders are arching towards one another. And then push down against the floor. Belly button goes up to the ceiling. Head and shoulders down through the floor. Top of the head is heavy. Really push the shoulder blades nice and apart. And again, arch. And you would repeat this as many times as you like. From here, you're going to shift back. Step one leg forward. We're going to go into a parallel lunge. So your front leg is facing forward, so it's not turned out. Nice and straight. That shin should be 90, so you don't want to go over the toes or be under or behind the toes. So everything's nice and stacked. Back leg also parallel. Hips drop down to the floor, and spine is nice and long. So everything is pressing forward. Keep that weight here. Long front of the hip. Try to settle into the underneath the hamstring so it's nice and relaxed. Hold here for at least a good minute or two. Then you can relax the back knee, untuck your toes, and lift your torso up. You can either hold on to your knee or just fingertips on the floor. You're trying to lift your full spine up to the ceiling so nothing is sagging in the middle. Long front of the leg. You should be forward enough that you are on top of the knee. If you're doing this on a pool deck, I suggest putting towels down or even a kickboard, but something that's a little bit softer. The kneecap is slightly pushed down into the floor, but you should not have weight on the knee. From here, to increase further stretch into the hip, you're going to bend that back leg. You can either grab it with the same arm as leg or opposite arm as leg. It's your choice. It does not quite matter. It doesn't make much of a difference. As you're holding this stretch, you want to make sure that, again, you're on the top of the knee, which means more on your thigh. You don't want to have pressure on the knee, so you should not be balancing on your kneecap no matter what your flexibility is. So keep those hips pressed forward and down towards that front heel. To increase this, you will feel this no matter what here. And then as you gain flexibility, you can pull that foot as close to the butt as you can. And hold, hold, hold. And then release that leg, toes down, back leg straight. From here, you're going to shift your hips backwards. So back down, toes under, and then push your hips back. Front leg still parallel, foot is just relaxed on the floor. Bend over that thigh, so you're nice and close. Everything is released in that front hip, so it's not tight or tense. Body's tight, not tight, I mean close, sorry. From here, you can flex that foot. We'll increase the stretch into the hamstring, also the back of the knee. Stay, stay, stay. All of these should be held for at least a minute to 2. Then from here, you're going to relax the front foot, so it's back on the floor. Now you're going to try to arch your lower back. So you're going to shift your pelvis and shoulders up to the ceiling and really push down into this thigh. So it's almost like you're saying back stretch, but you're really shifting down and pushing. This is trying to arch or feel like you're arching. So lift that head up, shoulders to the ceiling, hips to the ceiling, and then relax it down. Now, we're going to adjust your front leg. So we're going to let that leg slightly turn out. It's not very much, it's just a little bit. So it's not full turnout, maybe a 45-degree angle. From here, you're going to now shift your hips forward, tuck your toes under, and go back to a lunge. The reason we have this leg turned out now is this knee can now go past those toes. So it is an increased diagonal. The reasoning is the hips can now press further down and forward into this heel. Then the torso can pull more upright. So you're not leaning forward like the previous lunge, but again, you've walked your hands back and are pushing down to the floor, forward with the hips, and this leg is now out of your way to increase. You should feel it in that front leg hip, back of the thigh. Always make sure this back knee is nice and straight. And hold, hold, hold. Keeping your hands on the floor, keeping the leg turned out in the front. You're going to straighten that leg and drop your head down. Lift those hips up to the ceiling. Try to think of reaching your head to your heel and your ankle rather than your knee. So no matter where your flexibility is, so even if you're up here, try not to stay rounded, but stay nice and long against that leg. So again, the body is close to the thigh, close to the ankle, close to the shin, so that everything is nice and closed. Hold, 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 and then you would go back to your lunge. I'm going to do this part. So from here, we'll bend the back leg, tuck those toes under. We're going to bend your front leg under so that shin is on the floor. So you're going to sit on that heel. Again, this is just a little more stretch into that front hip bone. Then to increase the stretch into your hip and your butt, you're going to pull that heel out from underneath you. It does not have to be 90. You can do so, but I would keep it nice and close. Put the foot wherever you need it if you feel any knee tension. So release those hips into the floor. Again, trying to have a nice long spine. Hold here, stay nice and relaxed. Really release into that front hip so you can push it down into the floor. And after everything, I would relax, shake out your legs, and repeat everything onto the opposite side. Okay, we're gonna do just a really basic pike stretch. Back of the legs, gets into a little bit of the lower back, a little bit of the shoulders, working in some feet, and then opening into straddle. So going over to your pike, you wanna start nice and tall, reach your body out as far as you can flat, and then just relax it at the bottom. Grab whatever you can, ankles, shins, arches, or if you can reach your feet, take the tops of your hands and press those toes down to the floor and then back to the heel. Relaxing the head, relaxing the shoulders, everything's nice and close. Chest is against the thighs. And again, reaching your head toward your ankle rather than toward your knee. So it's a longer stretch. This way you would hold for quite some time. Flex those feet. Again, if your hands are here, grab the tops of those heels, tops of your toes, and try to lift the heels off the floor. Making sure the knees stay nice and straight. Good, and really pull back. And relax those feet. And then roll your body to come sitting upright. For feet, you want to separate your legs just a little bit so that your feet don't knock into one another. Start with just basic flex and point. So roll through the balls of the feet into the flex, and ball of the foot, and point, and ball, and flex. Repeat this as many times as you want. Ball, and point. And then you're going to roll to your flex. So curl your toes, flex the ankles, pull back your toes. And then reverse. Curl the toes, and point the foot. Again, as many times as you want. From there, circle both feet in and open. In and open. So it's really only